Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video tutorial. This would be board number 34 from Dubious positions and how to attack them. Again, I would like to express my thanks to Grandmaster Xiangqi and Master Wenqing for allowing me to use their work in this video. So, without further ado, let us begin. A central cannon, screenhouse defense. Red chooses the 7th pawn to develop a 7th pawn before developing a chariot, and black counters likewise. Proper horse. R9 equals to 8 in anticipation of R1 equals to 2, so that our left cannon blockade can be played. Should red develop his chariot at R1 equals to 2. And of course, knowing that black will play C8 plus 4, red will develop his chariot with R1 plus 1, so the opening is basically defined. It will be red central cannon, 7th horse with rank chariot variation, which is one of the major opening systems that has been very popular for the past half a century. Sorry. Black consolidates its defense. Red chooses R1 equals to 4 to prevent H7 plus 6, and black continues with A4 plus 5. Now playing this move will allow black to further consolidate his central file and also allow for R1 equals to 4 to develop his right chariot. C8 equals to 9, the 5-9 cannons, preparing for R9 equals to 8. And black chooses to attack with C2 plus 4. The idea behind this move is to allow black to play C2 equals to 3 to hinder the development of this horse, or to play C2 equals to 7 to capture the pawn and attack the elephant, so that black would have several pieces attacking this flank. In this variation, we'll be discussing P5 plus 1, whereby red would counter with by advancing the central pawn. Now, R9 equals to 8 is also sometimes played, but black will counter C2 equals to 7, pushing the elephant. Black offers a sacrifice to weaken red's formation. Black counters by attacking the horse. R1 equals to 3. Both colors will be attacking one flank, and each color will have their scruples. Now with the chariot here, the cannon can attack the pawn, can capture the pawn if need be. But P5 plus 1 will be the topic of discussion for today. C8 plus 4. Black will now try to form a blockade in this manner. However, there's one thing we should know. Red would have already developed his chariot as a ranked chariot, so the efficacy or the efficiency of the pawn rank cannons forming a blockade would be controversial, because if the chariot were developed in this manner, the pawn rank cannons would be much more powerful. Red continues with R9 equals to 8, and black plays R1 equals to 4 to occupy the red file. Now, the idea behind this move was that if red tried anything, black would be prepared to play R4 plus 6 to consolidate his position on red's pawn rank. This would be a very powerful bind if very powerful bind if black were allowed to make this move, because black would have the spatial advantage. But this would be wishful thinking on black's part. He ignored a very important aspect. He forgot one thing: the cannons that had crossed the river were vulnerable to attack themselves. Therefore, for this move, he should have played R1 equals to 2 to protect the cannon, and black would still have a playable position. So this would be the dubious move for discussion in this board. And now, seeing that R1 equals to 4 was played, red will counter with H3 minus 1 to attack the cannon. So he astutely retreated his horse, and for this very powerful move. Not only would this move break open the chains that black had been trying to bind red with, it would also give red a considerable advantage. At this point in time, there are two main variations that will be discussed. The first will be for +6 as black continues as planned. The second would be c8 +1, whereby black will try to trade material to establish an advantage. However, before we continue, let us discuss r4 equals to 2. Would traversing the chariot here be viable? After all, black would have wasted one move. At this point in time, if this were done, red could play c5 equals to 2, which was a brilliant move. The cannon cannot move away, and this cannon will now be attacking the chariot, and black will be forced to retreat his chariot, thereby sustaining another loss in tempo. Simple capture, and after trading chariots, this chariot will now be attacking the horse, which is very vulnerable. In fact, this entire flank is very vulnerable because red will now be prepared to play c9 equals to 4. So for example, if black tried to move the horse here, attack, the horse will be forced to retreat. And red will now have a very powerful attack going on. And up till this point, this chariot will still have trouble getting developed. The only movable piece would be this horse, which has the duty of protecting the central pawn from attack. So red will grow from strength to strength in this position, and that is why c4 equals to 2 is r4 equals to 2. Sorry, is not a viable option. So let us go to variation A, r4 +6. Now it would appear that the cannon was protected by the chariot. Black would have constituted a very powerful bind. Now, but is this so? Let us see. Again, red will play c5 equals to 2 to attack the chariot, forcing it back home. A simple no-nonsense approach. Again, at this point, red will now continue back with the central cannon to attack. Now, black will be placed a dilemma to even the material disadvantage. He will play r7 equals to 8. Now, would c2 equals to 8 be a better option? Let us see. It will lead to very complicated situations. Let us see. First of all, if r2 equals to 8 were played, red would attack the horse immediately. So at this point in time, black will be placed in a dilemma as he would have to find ways to deal with this issue. If it moved away, c9 +4 would be ready, and red would be attacking from bottom rank and also the central file. So there were three sub-variations. In the first sub-variation, r7 equals to 3 was discussed, whereby black tried to trade horses. Red would gladly do so. He would now consolidate his pawn rank and trap the chariot at a very disadvantaged position, but while threatening the cannon. And red will be faster in attacking. This file is very empty, and this would be a major headache for black. Now, if after r8 equals to 7, black decided to attack, sacrifice the horse, red would take precautionary measures with r4 equals to 2, forcing the cannon back. If it moved, if black continued by capturing the elephant, red would now retreat his horse, and black's position would fall apart because black would lose material no matter how. The horse, the chariot, with the, threatened by the red horse, and also the cannon. So black would lose material, and black's position would fall apart. Let's say if c7 equals to 3 were played for a sacrifice, red would not allow the cannon to go to the bottom rank, threatening black would protect the cannon and threaten to gain material with a discovered check, c8 equals to 5. But Red would not have any fear. He would simply move this cannon here. The lone cannon cannot do much at this point in time. The chariot cannot retreat here because the cannon would have protected this intersection. So black will be forced to move the black will be forced to retreat the chariot over here, and red will be faster in attack with c9 plus 4 because this flank is empty. So this can be seen if c2 plus 8 were played. In these three variations, black would not have gained anything. So in the main line, r7 equals 8 was discussed, but red would now cut off the ties between the chariot and the black chariot and the black cannon. So let's say black tried to move his cannon to safety. Red will consolidate his defense, and this cannon will not be protected, still be attacking. Black's right flank will be under heavy attack, and he will not be able to hold on much longer. A plus 3 will threaten to gain material, and black would be in all sorts of trouble. There's also always r8 plus 7, c9 plus 4, etc. etc. So this would be variation A. Now let us go to variation B. c8 plus 1. Let's say black tried to trade material with c8 plus 1. What would happen after red retreated the horse? Red will gladly accept the trade because now red would have commanded important lines. This cannon was very poorly placed and it would be a vulnerability. The black chariot cannot have any good positions for further development, save perhaps the riverbank. Okay, red will continue to attack, and black would be forced to protect the horse in this manner. This would be the optimal move for defense. He cannot play r at 4 plus 2, otherwise red would attack with c9 plus 4 and threaten to gain material. Red could also more importantly move the cannon to the bottom rank for attack. And then plus 4. Black would need to use up one move to move his cannon to a better position. Retreat the cannon, and red has the advantage firmly in hand. Now, at this point in time, it is fairly obvious that red would have the advantage. Much space to move, many threats that black would have a hard time handling with. So in this board, there are a few lessons to be learned. The first would be, as can be seen earlier, black was trying to, over here, black was trying to apply a very powerful bind with r1 equals to 4, but red would cleverly break open or smash open black's chains with h3 minus 1. So this is a very important lesson to learn. Now let us review the game in the eyes of black. Okay, central cannon, 7th pawn, 7th pawn, screen house defense, red chariot with 7 horse variation, a4 plus 5, which is okay at this point in time. c8 equals to 9, r2 plus 4, was very, very powerful, and p5 plus 1. Thus far, red can also be threatening with r4 plus 2 to shoo the cannon away, forcing black to play c8 plus 4, r9 equals to 8, and this would be the dubious move. Now, again, as mentioned earlier, because the chariot was developed as a ranked chariot, the efficacy of this move was contestable. So at this point in time, red will play h3 minus 1 for a brilliant move to break open black's spine, and this can be considered a textbook example of how to do it. So two variations were discussed: R4 plus 6 and R8 plus 1, C8 plus 1. Now H4 plus 2 was not viable because after trade of material, Red would be far ahead with development of his pieces. Variation A of R4 plus 6, as Black continued with his attempts to make a bind, but he did not expect C5 plus 2, which would be key move by Red to break open the binds that Black was trying to apply. So gain material, and Black could try to claim back the material disadvantage. C2 plus 5, and after making a few moves, we can see that Red would have increased his tempo in the game. C5 plus 1, and Red would have put up sufficient defense, and he could now go ahead to attack Black's very fragile right flank. So variation A of playing R4 plus 6 would not be viable. Variation B, C8 plus 1, whereby Black would try to trade horses, and after accepting horses, we can see that the the Black cannon was now poorly positioned. R8 plus 4, attacking the horse mercilessly, and Black will be forced to make this move. If R4 plus 2, C9, Red will continue with C9 plus 4, and Black will be even deep waters. The heck? As can be seen, Red will be far ahead in terms of development of his material. He will have the spatial advantage and also temporal advantage. Red has the firm advantage going to the mid game, and he can be fairly optimistic about his chances in this game. So I hope you've enjoyed this short video. If you like the work that I've been doing, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and have a good have a good time ahead.